Okay, it's recording.
Okay,
Um, so is it okay if you could tell me about your life before you went to the military?
absolutely. Well, I grew up in the Bronx in New York City. Um, I was in a dual family home for a while, and then my parents divorced when I was still in high school. I attended high school actually in Manhattan. My family's originally from South Carolina. My childhood growing up wasn't bad. It was actually, to me, it was pretty decent. I had time to be a kid. I enjoyed being outside, watching cartoons, hanging out with my friends. I, at least growing up in the Bronx, can say was able to truly, truly enjoy a childhood.
Um, what high school did you go to?
I went to Murray Bergstrom High School down in Manhattan, that lower Manhattan, not too far. Actually, it's right across from One Police Plaza.
It's very cool.
Yeah, I loved
Um,
the train ride back then.
um, what was your family like?
My family, I mean, my mom and dad were cool. They always wanted us, if something was wrong, never to bite our tongues, speak up for ourselves, come talk to them and tell them if something is wrong. And to this day, I mean, our relationship is still great. Um, I was able to, no matter what the situation was, have a one on one conversation with either my mom or my dad. So that's what I truly appreciated the most.
Did you have any siblings?
I do. I have a baby sister, which we have the same mom. She's about 4 years younger than I am. We grew up in the household together.
Um, okay, so when did you join the military?
Believe it or not, I joined the Army when I was 17 years old. Most people, I tell them, if you asked me when I was in high school if it's something that I thought of doing, I would have told you no, you were crazy and out of your mind. So I actually wound up joining the Army when I was in college because I graduated from high school at 16 and I went to Bennett College in Greensboro, North Carolina, and that's where I wound up joining the Army from.
Why did you join?
You won't believe me when I tell you this, but it was sheer pure curiosity. Believe it. Yes, yes, yes. I had a friend of mine who had come to us. It was like five of us, and she said, "Hey, I have an Army recruiter coming to talk to us. Let's just sit down and hear what she has to say. We don't have to do anything." Okay, no problem. So we were all in our dorm. We had like a little open foyer in the dorm. We were sitting down, a recruiter came and she gave us all of the pertinent information about what it was like to be in the Army. And it sounded pretty good. I was enjoying college, don't get me wrong, and I was doing very well, but I've always been the adventurous type. So I went ahead on. I took the physical, I took the exam, and before I knew it, I was raising my right hand, taking an oath.
Um, what was the training like for you?
So, as New Yorkers, we're very hard headed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And initially, when I first got there, I was scared because basic training for me was in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. When I left home, it was a little scary. When I got to Missouri, it was even scarier because there was so many different faces from all over the country. And I can remember being at the reception station where we initially got our paperwork process. Males got their haircuts. We got all of our vaccinations, and everything seemed real easy. We were issued our uniforms. They wanted to see whether or not we were capable of being in the uniform at that time. I was like, oh, okay, this looks like it's going to be easy. The next day, a big cattle truck came. The cattle truck came to pick us up to take us to our companies and our locations in basic training. We got on a cattle truck, and that was one of the scariest days and scariest moments I've ever encountered. It was crazy because we got on, we couldn't make no noise. Everybody was rush, 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 rush. We got to where we needed to in front of these. Our barracks looked like dorms buildings on the outside. So we're standing outside. It's cold. It's October. And I'm like, uh-oh, what did I do? Initially, in the beginning, I had to kind of feel my way through. But then after a while, it was kind of like second nature. And I just got used to it. And I started gritting and bearing everything that was coming our way. So, my body and my mind just became one, is what I tell folks. And I just pushed through it, persevered. My best friend to this day, she has all of the letters that I wrote her during the time when I was in basic training. And it's funny because she said in one of the letters, I was like, they're trying to break me. They're trying to break me, but they can't break me. They can't smoke me. And she's laughing. She said, because I could see your facial expression saying this while you're writing. And I'm like, yeah, New Yorkers, we got to do what we have to do.
What unit, when you completed basic training, what unit were you placed in?
Well, prior to me going to basic training, I chose the medical field. So once basic training was over, I was sent to Fort Sam Houston, Texas, which is right in San Antonio. And I went through my medical training there. And I was in Texas for, it was a couple of months in Texas, my goodness. And yeah, I learned how to become well, you guys would consider it to be a paramedic. And we had paramedic, and then we had nursing training at the same time.
Where were you stationed at?
I have been stationed in Korea, Germany. Here in the United States, I was stationed in South Carolina, Fort Jackson. I was stationed in Georgia, Fort Benning. What else? My goodness, I was stationed here in New York City at Brooklyn. They have Fort Hamilton in Brooklyn. Goodness, where else? I'm just trying to think. It's been, oh my gosh, you got me thinking hard. Where else did I go? Texas, of course, yes. Let me see, where else? Ooh. Missouri. Where else? They sent me to Michigan, Washington, D.C., Northern Virginia. Washington, D.C. is like the triangle. So I consider that area to be one, but it was two separate locations because I was also stationed at an Air Force base too. So yeah.
So you mentioned you were deployed overseas. Can you tell me what you did while you were overseas?
Being in the medical field, I took care of those wounded and not wounded. A lot of my duties consisted of me working in either a hospital or a clinic. So I was able to provide vaccinations to the service members that came through. A lot of my training consisted of me pre-screening before they actually saw the doctors. I assisted in surgeries, excuse me. What else? There was a plethora of of things that I had done while in the medical field. So yeah.
I'm just trying to think. What else did you do when you were while you were a medic?
Have fun. Learn how to enjoy myself and still be me at the exact same time. So I worked a normal schedule, except for whenever I had duty. And what I mean by duty is we did rotate guard duty, where we would have to be in our full dress uniform or full battle uniform, and we're secure in certain premises and areas wherever we're located at. Then we have staff duty, is the same thing. So yeah, I truly enjoyed myself. If I was overseas or when I was overseas, I got to get out and explore the different countries close and the one I was actually stationed in. So, it was an experience.
Did you make any friends while you were in the service?
I made a bunch of friends. To this day, we're all still friends.
What's one thing from your service that you will never forget?
Never forget. Leadership. I would say leadership. Definitely so. Because I think to this day that it has made me the person that I am on top of what my mom and dad or how my mom and dad raised me.
When were you discharged?
I retired in September 30th, 2015.
Were there any medals or awards that you received?
Yes, I got quite a few. To name them is going to be too much. I have to look at my uniform for me to even remember.
Um, what was your life like after you were discharged?
Afterwards, you know what? Shelby is crazy because to me, it felt different, but at the exact same time, it felt relaxed because I was on such a strict set schedule every single day, from the time I got up in the morning to the time that I went to sleep at night. And even um, when I was at home, it was like, okay, like clockwork. Everything for me is like clockwork. To this day, it's still the same, but it's a little bit more easing and relaxing. I don't feel so much pressure and strain.
Were there any ceremonies that you want to honoring you and other veterans like yourself?
Yeah, we marched in the Veterans Day parade quite a bit. We also had the opportunity to, bear witness to what is it, Times Square when the ball comes down. We sit down, we were like up close and personal. What else? I got a chance to meet a lot of World War II veterans who told me some amazing stories about their time in service, which I truly appreciate because, I joined out of pure curiosity, but then I started to love what I was doing. And then hearing their stories just allowed me to see the changes that happened as time went on.
Um, yeah, I interviewed a couple of World War II veterans as well.
Absolutely. And their stories are amazing.
Yeah, then one of them, they liberated a concentration camp.
Wow. I love it. See, now that right there. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, and I also told them about my grandfather who was also a World War II veteran.
That's right. That's right. Never
Yeah,
forget.
he was a medic who was stationed in Japan nearly at the end of the war.
Wow.
Mhm.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yep.
Makes you proud.
Mm-hmm. Um, I think that was all my questions.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate that. Exactly what are you going to do as far as your is this is what you're doing this for your Girl Scouts, correct?
Correct.
So you guys putting together like a special presentation or what is it for exactly?
Like like for my Girl Scout Gold Award, I'm interviewing veterans from, like I said, World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, global war on terror, and all military operations across all military branches. And I'm creating a website to put the put the interviews in, and I'm also trying to create a YouTube channel as well.
Shelby, that is awesome. Thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
Cool. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So if there's
You're
anything
welcome.
that you need from me at all, please let me know.
I will.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. It was good talking to you.
Good talk to you too.
Stay warm, Shelby.
You too. Bye.